Tonight on News Live at 6, January 6th Committee Vice Chair Liz Cheney visits Syracuse today to talk courage in defense of democracy. I'll have what she said.
Plus, today kicks off SU's LGBTQ History Month celebration. We'll have the events you could look forward to this week.
And around the country, average gas prices are on the rise. But what about here in Syracuse? How Central New York and East Coast cities are faring better than expected. All that and more. Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Congresswoman Liz Cheney is on the Hill today speaking at a Maxwell event. Good evening, I'm Josh Meyers.
And I'm John Perik. Students today had the chance to learn about how to defend democracy. And the latest tonight on Wyoming, Representative Liz Cheney's visit to campus. The Republican January 6th Vice Chair talks defending democracy. I got to watch Cheney speak today.
Yes. I think that it is, in many ways, inexplicable that we are where we are, and that circumstances that
Apologies there for the technical difficulties. Today marks the beginning of the fall 2022 Student Association elections. The SA is comprised of representatives from each college who act as a voice for the undergraduate students. This year, 30 candidates are running for a total of 19 seats. Students can vote through their campus-wide email, on the SA website, or on social media.
And students, alumni, and mentors have an opportunity to form connections with veterans in the community. The university's Office of Veteran and Military Affairs last Friday revealing OVMA Connect. The mentoring platform offers networking between community members and veterans. As of now, nearly 300 users are in communication. OVMA Connect says they hope to increase that number.
Today, the university kicks off its celebration of LGBTQ+ History Month. LGBTQ Resources is holding multiple training programs and affinity group meetings. It's all part of the SU's goal to help students learn more about the history and contributions of the LGBTQ+ community. Some of the events include chalk and tie-dye on the quad next Monday and followed by National Coming Out Day next Tuesday.
And on campus tomorrow, VP for Diversity and Inclusion, Mary Grace Almondrez is hosting a forum tomorrow to share updates on SU's diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility efforts. All students, faculty, and staff are encouraged to attend, and the forum will be held at the Goldstein Auditorium at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Students interested in attending must register ahead of time.
And SU welcomes a new club to campus this semester. Citrus TV's Maddie Stelk is in studios with more details. Maddie?
That's right, guys. The Mexican Student Association, it's making its debut as a registered organization right here on campus. Earlier today, we spoke with the president of the club to check in and hear how it's going. Take a listen.
The response has been crazy because we have gotten reached out to by not just sophomores, we've gotten reached out to by juniors and seniors and freshmen that just came in who have been just saying, thank you so much for starting this. We finally have a home here on campus.
The club is founded by 5 sophomores, including Ortega, who are all female, first generation, and Latina. Ortega says over 50 students showed up to the general body meeting and only hopes for that number to grow.
To just bring the Mexican culture here on campus, bring the people together, and we're not strictly just for Mexican students, but we're for everyone. We just think that it's a beautiful culture that deserves to be celebrated with everybody.
Now, there is one upcoming event that students should look out for. November is El Dia De Los Muertos, which means the Day of the Dead, a Mexican holiday that celebrates the passing of loved ones. Ortega says the association has an event in the works so students can celebrate here on campus. That's all I have for now. Josh and John, back to you guys.
Maddie Stelk. Maddie, thank you. And let's talk a little bit about our weather lately. I mean, it's been really been getting cold, really getting closer to these fall temperatures.
Well, yeah, happy October. You know, it's October 3rd. Come on. I can't believe it to begin with. I thought, when I heard that that Halloween's right around the corner, I was like, isn't it supposed to be summer? Like, what happened to summer?
I know. I mean, I woke up this morning. It was in the 30s, 30 degrees. It's starting to get sweater weather here, but you know who has more for us? Our Ronnie Perillo, who is outside on the weather deck right now. Ronnie, what's going on out there?
It's just a beautiful fall evening here in the Salt City. We've got temperatures right now hovering in the mid-50s. We're under a bit of cloud cover, but really nothing too much that's going to produce any rain. Let's take a look at temperatures throughout the central New York area. We've got 56 here in Syracuse. 55 as you head west towards Rochester, 54 up in Oswego, and in the southern tier actually a little bit cooler at 53 degrees. But tonight, that's really when it's going to cool down. 33 degrees as your low. There's a frost advisory in effect for much of central New York and the surrounding areas. So close your windows, bundle up if you're going to head out tonight. It's going to be a cold one. And that temperature trend is going to kind of continue into the following nights this week. You want to stick around for the full forecast, though. I got some great news as it's going to be sunny and in the 70s at the end of the week. Stay tuned.
Thank you. And new details, a man is being charged today after breaking and entering into an Ithaca home and fleeing from the police in his vehicle. Police say 3 people woke up to the 36-year-old man inside their home with a knife in his hand, demanding money and property from the victims. The man was caught and placed in handcuffs. He'll be arraigned on the charge of robbery in the first degree.
And a woman is recovering tonight after she crashed her car into a mailbox and tree in Jamesville. Police say the woman was speeding on Sweet Road when she drove off the road and crashed. Her SUV caught fire after the collision. Firefighters rescued the 42-year-old woman, and she was transported to Upstate University Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Deli Bros food truck is without a roof this morning following an explosion yesterday right before the Cortland Pumpkin Fest. Officials say the blast occurred around 7:30 a.m. State fire investigators say they can't pinpoint the cause of the blast, but fortunately nobody was hurt and the Pumpkin Fest still went on as planned.
And gas prices are dropping today here in central New York. AAA reporting the average price for a gallon of gas in Syracuse today is $3.64. That's 10 cents less than last week. However, higher gas prices amid fluctuating oil prices is resulting in an average increase across the nation.
Still ahead on Live at 6, Iran blaming the United States for its recent protests. We have the latest on that conflict in the Middle East.
Plus, Vice President Kamala Harris wraps up her visit to South Korea, but it's not stopping the country from continuing its missile tests. That's after the break.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
And welcome back to News Live at 6. Now, the latest tonight on Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney's visit to campus. The Republican January 6th vice chair of the committee talks defending democracy. And I got to watch Cheney speak today. Courage in defense of democracy.
The lesson of January 6th is that the only thing that makes a difference is people.
Congresswoman Liz Cheney addressed questions from Syracuse Provost Gretchen Ritter today in the Goldstein Auditorium.
We cannot be a country where elections are determined by violence.
Cheney sits on the House Armed Services Committee and also serves as the vice chair for the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
You know, to me, there was never a question that we have to investigate the worst attack on the Capitol since the War of 1812.
Issues ranging from political violence.
I think that we saw on January 6th that words matter.
Gay marriage.
And I think it's important that we respect the right of people to marry who they love.
And healing a damaged democracy.
And one of the most dangerous and destructive things that Donald Trump did was go to war with the rule of law.
Congresswoman Cheney ended the Q&A with a message on the value of public service.
We need every single good and honorable person of character to step forward and serve the country.
And Liz Cheney maintains her stance that she will keep Trump out of the White House at all costs.
An Iran Supreme Leader today says the United States and Israel are to blame for the country's violent protests. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei says the two countries planned the protests in an effort to destabilize Iran.
And this comes after hundreds of technology university students were brought into custody following a standoff with state police. An Iranian woman died in police custody after she was abducted by the country's morality police for violating the country's dress code.
And as Kamala Harris's South Korea visit comes to a close, North Korea's missile tests are ramping up. The DPRK launched a pair of missiles this morning as the vice president left on Air Force 2.
And the missile tests come after Harris's visit to the Korean demilitarized zone in a meeting with South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. Both the White House and Yeol condemned North Korea's nuclear rhetoric and missile tests.
The U.S. Supreme Court will not expand gun rights today, the court refusing to hear a Donald Trump-imposed ban on bump stocks, an accessory that increases the speed at which semi-automatic rifles fire.
And the cases were rejected at lower courts before the 6th and 10th U.S. Circuit Courts of Appeal made conflicting decisions. The ban is a result of a mass shooting at a Las Vegas County music festival that killed 58 people in 2017.
Mike Lindell's defamation lawsuit won't be seeing an end anytime soon. The Supreme Court today rejecting MyPillow CEO's bid to fend off a defamation lawsuit from Dominion Voting Systems back in 2020. The decision means the federal judge's ruling last summer remains in effect.
The voting machine company sued Lindell last winter for purposely promoting Trump's false claims of election fraud. Lindell is an outspoken support of the former president.
And the latest now, tragic news this weekend from the island of Java. 125 are dead after a post-match protest. On Saturday, thousands of Arema FC fans stormed the pitch after their team lost 3-2.
And after fans stormed the field, police responded with tear gas. Local police are currently investigating allegations of heavy-handed policing. 18 officers face investigation for their role in the on-field brawl. 9 NATO members are showing their support for Ukrainian administration to the Union today.
The approval comes after President Volodymyr Zelensky applied for fast-track NATO membership in response to Russian annexation of 4 parts of Ukraine.
The 9 supporting countries say they support Ukraine in its defense against Russia, urge Russia to withdraw forces, and hope all allies increase aid to Ukraine. Fast-track NATO membership requires approval from all 30 members.
And staying in Ukraine, Ukrainian's First Lady Olena Zelenska says Russia's recent bombings in Chernihiv are acts of terrorism. The statement comes after Russia bombed 2 schools, a soccer stadium, a hospital, and a library.
Zelenska says Russia used fear to drive people out of towns in order to occupy the territory. In addition to condemning the attacks, Zelenska encourages additional American aid in its defense against Russian invasion.
Brazil's presidential election will enter a runoff. Left-wing candidate Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva holds 48% of the vote, as opposed to incumbent President Jair Bolsonaro's 43%.
Lula needed 50% of the vote to avoid a runoff. No election has been decided in the first round in 24 years. The election results will be decided within 4 weeks.
And British Prime Minister Liz Truss is abandoning her tax cut plan after economic chaos and backlash from the public. The plan removes the income tax for people who earn more than £150,000 per year, with the aim of growing the economy.
And the market reaction to Truss's plan was higher inflation and interest rates, leading to an overall price increase in British products, as well as a decrease in public satisfaction.
The Labour Party's finance spokesperson Rachel Reeves stated, "The Tories have destroyed their economic credibility and damaged trust in the British economy." This, of course, showing that Truss is receiving political backlash as well.
Well, chilly tonight, but we get rewarded midweek with warmer temperatures. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
Be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News Live at 6. Well, if you were a little chilly this morning, you're going to be chilly tomorrow morning. But after that, the days are really going to start to warm up, and it's going to be a great time come midweek. So we've got your Tuesday planner for tomorrow. Highs in the mid-60s, so a typical October day here in Syracuse. Some cloud cover over the area, but really you're going to see the sun peeking through in spots. Just a great day to be outside. Which brings us to our air chill meter. So what's it going to be like when you go outside tomorrow? Well, it's not going to whack you. It's not going to make you have to go back in for that winter coat. It's really going to be a very pleasant day. Not really much of a chill in the air. So you can just be good with a long sleeve top or whatever you want to put on for a nice ideal fall day, at least in my opinion. And looking to the 5-day forecast, those temperatures are not just going to stick around, but they're going to get better. We've got 65 tomorrow for the high. And look at Wednesday and Thursday. I mean, just absolutely beautiful days for viewing some foliage. You want to go apple picking if you have the time to. Sunshine, not much cloud cover, not much humidity as we make our way into October. However, on Friday, we are going to see some cooler afternoon showers, so a high of only around 50 degrees. And with the wind and the clouds making their way into our central New York area, it's only going to feel like about 48 to 50 degrees on that day. So definitely going to want to grab a heavier coat, bundle up a little bit if you're heading outside. Saturday, we see a little bit of relief from that precipitation. Cloudy, cool temperatures, highs in the mid-50s. So all in all, a pretty nice week coming up. You're just going to want to watch it as you head to the weekend. I would say Wednesday and Thursday are our winning days. Speaking of winning, that's what the Orange did this weekend. What's going on in sports, John?
Well, Ronnie, coming up in sports, you just mentioned it, Syracuse football entered the weekend a perfect 4-0. I'll let you know if Dino Babers and company were able to stay unbeaten. News Live at 6, back after this.
Let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
It's been exactly 1,111 days since September 18, 2019. Why do I bring that up, you might ask? Well, that was the last time Syracuse's opponent Wagner had won a football game entering this weekend. So as the Orange took the field on Saturday, it wasn't necessarily a question of whether or not they'd win, but rather by how much. And after marching down the field on the first drive, Garrett Schrader scores from 1 yard out, his fifth rushing touchdown of the year. And Sean Tucker, meanwhile, coming off 2 games of 60 rushing yards or less. He matched that with 1 carry right here in the first quarter. His 60-yard house call made it 14-0 with 5 minutes left in the first. We get a lot more of the same. Tucker then scampers in for his second of the day from 4 yards out. He wouldn't be done. But midway through the second, let's go back to Garrett Schrader. He finished passing the day a perfect 17 of 17. One of them, this one, a 22-yard touchdown pass to Devon Cooper. That made it 35-0. Still 7 minutes left in the first half. Later, 3 minutes left in the first half at this point. Tucker scored his third of the day. He finishes with 232 yards on the ground, and the Cuse roll 59-0. SU was in cruise control all the way through. Things weren't quite as easy for the Bills, though. They found themselves trailing the Ravens 20-3 before this touchdown early on. That made it a little bit closer. And excuse me, we've got the wrong graphic up on the screen, but the Bills were in an absolute battle against the Ravens this week. This was obviously back a couple of weeks ago against the Dolphins. All in all, the Bills end up getting another win. They go to 3-0 on the season. And Josh Allen had a big touchdown run to cut it down late. Late in the game, the Bills end up getting an interception as well. Jordan Poyer picked off Lamar Jackson. That was one of 2 interceptions that Jackson ended up throwing. Then Josh Allen marches the Bills all the way down the field. Looked like Baltimore was going to let Devin Singletary score, but he ends up getting stopped just short. Tyler Bass then kicks a game-winning field goal, 21-yarder as time expires. So a little bit tough for the Bills, but over on the side for the Jets, pretty good day for the Jets too. They end up taking down the Steelers 24-20 In Pittsburgh, this was also Zach Wilson's first start of the season after missing the first 3 weeks with a non-contact knee injury. He leads the game-winning drive. Afterwards, he said this was new but fun territory for him.
And for me personally, I haven't been in many of those, so mentally you got to focus in, you got to lock in, and I think all the guys up front, the receivers, they wanted that moment, and so that was such cool execution by everybody all the way around the board to put something together right there and score. It was awesome.
That was D-tackle John Franklin Meyers reminding everyone that the Jets did in fact win. They're now 2-2 on the season. Guys, pretty good start for the Jets so far this year. Even though Zach Wilson gets hurt, he comes back in and leads them to a win.
Great start for the Jets, but I want to talk about another New York sports team that, I don't know, it's looking a little dicey. Some Mets fans might be saying it's deja vu.
I think you might be right about this one. They picked a bad time to play their worst baseball. The calendar flips to October. They get swept by the Braves. One more Braves win or one more Mets loss. The Mets are heading to the wild card. The Braves get a first-round bye.
Yeah, well, we're hoping for a win for the New York Mets, of course. Thank you so much, John, as always. And when we come back, we'll take one last look at your weather. Stay with us.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
All right, let's take one last look at your weather. When you wake up tomorrow, a little bit chilly outside, 45 degrees. Warming up through the day, though, it's going to be a very pleasant afternoon. Not too much in the way of cloud cover here in central New York, so just a great day to get outside and enjoy the fall weather.
Ronnie, those fall temperatures certainly starting to come here, and when it's fall, you know what that means. We're also looking into Halloween. And are you looking for a fun, spooky activity to do with your pet this weekend? Well, if so, bring your dog and best costume to the Halloween Pet Walk and Parade this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the FC Austin Park.
And this 1 mile parade supporting the Fingerlinks SPCA will be full of costume prizes, donuts, and cider. Gosh, I love a good cup of cider. And of course, some spooky, pet-friendly treats. Registration is $25 per person. Kids 12 and under are $10, and kids 3 and under are free.
Ronnie, do you have a dog?
I do have a dog. She's almost 15 years old.
Oh, wow. Boy.
Yep, going strong.
Well, I'm sure your dog isn't here with you, but how fun of an event would that be with your dog?
Oh my, she would love it.
Right.
She would strut all over the park. She'd absolutely love that.
Yeah, well,
and
John,
I love the cider.
John, I know you don't have a dog, but
I might just go just for the cider.
Yeah, honestly, the cider seems like the best part. Well, that's unfortunately all the time we have for you today on Citrus TV News.
For more of the latest, follow us on Citrus TV News on Twitter or check out our website at citrustv.com.
For everyone here, I'm Josh Meyers.
And I'm John Perik. Take care.